Okay, so today I'm gonna be reading the book from the page 83, which a new chapter. One end of the great barn was piled high with new hay, and over the pile hung the four taloned Jackson fork suspended from its pillar. They had came down like a mountain slope to the other end of the barn, and there was a level place as you unfield with a new crop. At the sides, the the feeding racks were visible, and between the slats, the head of horses could be seen. It was Sunday afternoon. The resting horses nibbled the remaining wisps of hay, and they stamped their feet, and bit the wood of the mangers, and rattled the halter chains. The afternoon sun sliced in through the cracks of the barn walls and lay in bright lines on the hay. There was a buzz of flies in the air, the lazy afternoon bumming. From outside came the clang of horseshoes and the playing pack and the shouts of men playing, encouraging, jeering. But in the barn it was quiet and humming and lazy and warm. Only Lenny was in the barn, and Lenny sat in the hay beside a packing case under a manger in the end of the barn that had not been filled with with hay. Lenny sat in the hay and looked at a little dead puppy that lay in front of him. Lenny looked at it for a long time, and then he put out his huge hand and stroked it clear from one end to the other. And Lenny said softly to the puppy, Why do you got to get killed? You ain't so little as mice. I didn't bounce you hard. He bent the pup's head up and looked in his face, and he said to it, Now maybe George ain't gonna let me Now maybe George ain't gonna let me tend no rabbits. If he fins out, you got killed. He scooped a little hollow and laid the puppy in it and covered it with hay. Out of sight, but he continued to stare at the mound he had made. He said, This ain't no bad thing like I got to go hide in the brush. Oh no, this ain't. I'll tell George I found it dead. He unburied the puppy and inspected it, and he stroked it from ears to tail. He went on sorrowfully, but he'll know. George always knows. He'll say, You done it. Don't try to put nothing over on me. And he'll say, Now, just for that, you don't get to tend no rabbits. Suddenly, his anger arose. God damn you, he cried. Why do you got to get killed? You ain't so little as mice. He picked up the pup and hurled it from him. He turned his back on it. He sat bent over his knees, and he whispered, Now I won't get to tend the rabbits. Now he won't let me. He rocked himself back and forth in his sorrow. From outside came the clang of horseshoes on the iron stake, and then little jars of cries. Lenny got up and brought the puppy back and laid it on the hay and sat down. He stroked the pup again. It wasn't big enough. He he said, they told me that they told me and they told me and told me you wasn't. I didn't know you'd get killed so easy. He worked his fingers on the pub's limp ear. Maybe George won't care, he said. This here goddamn little son of a bitch was nothing to George. Curly's wife came around the end of the last stall. She came very quietly so that Lenny didn't see her. She wore a bright cotton dress and the moles with the red ostrich feathers. Her face was made up and the little sausage curls were all in place. She was quite near to him before Lenny looked up and saw her. In panic, she shoved hay over the puppy with his fingers. He looked sullenly up at her. She said, "What do you got there, sonny boy?" Lenny glared at her. George says I ain't to have nothing to do with you, talk to you or nothing. She laughed. George giving you orders about everything? Lenny looked down at the hay. Says I can't tend no rabbits if I talk to you or anything, she said quietly. She's scared Curly would get mad. Well, Curly got his arm in a sling, and if Curly gets tough, you can break his other hand. You didn't put nothing over on me about getting it caught in no machine, but Lenny was not to be brown. No, sir, I ain't gonna talk to you or nothing. She knelt in the hay beside him. Listen, she said. All the guys got a horseshoe tenement going on. It's only about 4 o'clock. None of them guys is going to leave that tenement. Why can't I talk to you? I never get to talk to nobody. I get awful lonely. Lenny said, well, I ain't supposed to talk to you or nothing. I get lonely, she said. You can talk to people, but I can't talk to nobody but Curly. Else she gets mad. How do you like not to talk to anybody? Lenny said, well, I ain't supposed to. George scared I'll get in trouble. She changed the subject. What do you got covered up there? Then all the Lenny's woke came back on him. Just my pup, he said fretfully. Just my little pup. And he swept the hay from on top of it. Why, he's dead. Why, he's dead, she cried. He was so little, said Lenny. I was just playing with him, and he made like he's gonna bite me, and I made like I was gonna smack him, and I done it, and then he was dead. She consoled him. Don't you worry none. He was just a mutt. You can get another one easy. The whole country is full of mutts. It ain't that so much, Lenny explained miserably. George ain't gonna let me tend no rabbits now. Why don't he? Well, he said if I done any more bad things, he ain't gonna let me tend the rabbits. She moved closer to him and she spoke soothingly. Don't you worry about talking to me. Listen to the guys. Y'all out there. They got $4 betting that tenement. None of them ain't gonna leave till it's over. If George sees me talking to you, he'll give me a howl. Lenny said cautiously. He told me so. Her face grew angry. What's the matter with me? She cried. I ain't got a right to talk to nobody. What do they think I am, anyways? You're a nice guy. I don't know why I can't talk to you. I ain't doing no harm to you. Well, George says you get us in a mess. Oh, nuts, she said. What kind of harm I'm doing to you? Seems like they ain't none of them scares how I gotta leave live Live. I tell you, I ain't used to living like this. I could have made something myself, she said darkly. Maybe I will yet. And then her words tumbled out in a passion of communication, as though she hurried before her listener could be taken away. I lived right in Salinas, she said. Come there when I was a kid. Well, a show come through, and I might one of the actors. He said I could go with that show, but my old lady wouldn't let me. She says because I was only 15, but the guy says I coulda. If I went, I wouldn't be living like this, you bet. Then he shrugged the pub back and forth. We're gonna have a little place and rabbits, he explained. Alright, that's for today. I'm getting cold and I gotta move. Okay, so next time I'll continue reading from page 87 and from she went on with her story quickly. Alright, that's for today. Thank you for listening to the video, the book, and if you like it, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.